So I noticed today that Deus Ex Mankind Divided had a patch version 1.13. Tried to look up some of the notes on it, and it looks like it was some various bugs and some fixes like that. So I wanted to go ahead and point out, I have a bunch of different saves on this one. I'm going through on this one. I'm going to try to get all the ebooks. Maybe try to platinum the game. I'm not sure. I don't know. This permadeath mode doesn't look fun. Basically, you die one time and it deletes the save. So there is a workaround that, though. I wanted to say real quick is that you can either load the save onto a thumb drive or load it into the cloud. And then if you ever start to think you're going to die, you basically just exit the game and then you can put that save back on there. Kind of a little hack. But I noticed anyway that you can see these saves right here. They're both, from a day apart. This one always crashes for some reason. I don't know why save 1 does. Every time I go to load it, it crashes. My companion app disconnected. And this save 2 always seems to work. It's the most bizarre thing. Let's go ahead and check out. I think the graphics are pretty much going to be about the same. I'll go ahead and just load this. Well, I don't want to ruin the story because that one's pretty late in there. Let's go to Jensen's stories. Criminal Past is not out yet. It actually comes out on the 23rd. I was kind of curious because it was like it's showing up here, and I'm like, why can't I click on it? I can't do anything. And the reason why is it's not ready. It's showing up. The trophies are showing up, but it won't download, I guess, until the 23rd of February. For those of you that are kind of curious, let's go ahead and do. Guess Desperate Measures real quick. Let's go ahead and do that one. I think I've got a little save. And yeah, we'll go ahead and I'll just load a previous save on this. We'll see if the graphics got any better. We'll see if any of the glitches, the patches, if they, are fixing some of these crashes that people are having. I've been pretty lucky. Like I said, I've got that one save that I showed you from 2016. It was from August when the game pretty much came out, and I've been able to play that. I didn't even, obviously the Pro wasn't even out at that time, so it's a pre-Pro save, and that one's fine. But like I said, save 1 is having nothing but issues. And I had a guy that was commenting on one of my videos, and I felt bad. He's got every single one of his videos are basically corrupted. Every single one of his saves. I was like, oh my gosh. So if we go in here, I can't remember. There's a couple different things. Where was, let's see. I'm trying to remember. There is an ebook in here on the table. Like I said, I think this game has been my favorite as far as the Pro patch so far. For some reason, this one just looks so much better graphically. And the weird thing is I did a video on Mafia 3, and that's actually one of the worst I've seen. So we got a Praxis kit if we use the button here. We're in System Rift right now, so if you hit that little secret button, pick up my Praxis kit. Some absinthe. Old man prestige. So the code to that one in System Rift, if you go in here and you hack this computer,
anomaly detected. Trace program initiated. Access granted.
and one of these emails will tell you what it is. These are kind of standalone. They say that it might actually ruin the main game. I found that this one did not. Basically, you're trying to find out more about the Prague bombing, so you're going and really diving into that. There's the code that we'll get for the room behind us. And anytime you hear that little, like, that bell, it's like, doo-doo, that means you've got a code from either a computer, you know, whatever it may be that you read, you've got it either from a pocket secretary or not. Yeah, we kind of go in here. I'm trying to remember what... Okay, we needed that.
I can't.
Melissa, I don't have time for this. The goddamn train station's on fire.
I know. Your brother-in-law's the one who did it.
What?
I told you Ark was trying to recruit him. When the police find out it was Ivan, they'll come for me.
I can fix this. We've covered up things caught on camera before.
What?
Yeah, but they haven't accessed the station to telling them data yet. I have to go. I have to do this now. I'll call you, Mel. I promise.
So these pocket secretaries actually have some audio clips. This particular one, anyway.
Check.
We've got
Make sure there's a metro train available for me at Terminal Station.
Did you find out who corrupted the footage?
I did better than that. I'll fill you in on the details back at HQ.
The thing is, if you haven't played these standalone missions, it kind of sucks because they take away all of your upgrades, all the things that you earn through the main game, like all your inventory space. They give you, like, in this particular one, I think they gave me 15 Praxis kits, so you kind of have to choose which ones you want. You kind of have to really be picky and choosy on those when you're going through them. And then they basically get rid of all your weapons. Let me see. I'm actually curious because Okay, so I could actually take from my pre-order bonus if I wanted to, which I'm not. I'm going to do that for a standalone mission, but I forgot there was a camera there. Right in front of my face. About to punch me in the face. These are kind of cool, and then you can drag his body. You got to watch out for the noise you're making, but in this particular game, I could care less if I died or not, because I've already beat it. So the other one that they came out with, trying to think of it, I mean, this might have been Desperate Measures. I might have been saying that wrong, and I'm playing System Rift right now, but one of them they talk about Stanton Dowd, and if you haven't played the original, I would probably do yourself a favor and either play the original. I did do a series on the original Deus Ex just for the story. That's all it contains is basically the story. None of the combat or anything like that. So for those of you that haven't played the original because of the graphics, whatever it may be, I've got that kind of up. But Stanton Dowd is actually a very, very important person in the original. He's one of the Illuminati members, actually. And you later find out he's actually part of the Knights Templar, which is why it makes very much sense that he would be in Desperate Measures. Leroy! The good thing about killing these guys is that they don't come back. And they can't revive somebody that's dead. As Rick Sanchez says on Rick and Morty, I can't cure death. I love that. I was watching that Honest trailer on this game, and it was funny because the guy was like, go in Vince. And it was like, that is true. You spend a lot of time in Vince if you're playing pacifist or if you're trying not to kill anybody. I'm going to kill everybody, though. For those of you that love to play as pacifist, you're probably crying right now. So no issues with the actual, I guess, side missions. I've really not noticed any crashing. I personally have not had any crashing issues after the 1.12 update. So I was having a little bit of issue, like I said. I still can't access my save #1 file, which kind of sucks. But I was still able to, since I guess it was there, I was allowed to go ahead and, I guess, do my New Game Plus. That was good. I'm trying to knock you out. I was hitting my R3 button, but I guess I wasn't close enough. Let's go ahead and go to... We'll go ahead and go to... Oh, yeah, there we go. Let me go ahead and load this one just to kind of see what if there's any issues or anything. I'm just going to kind of do a well-rounded overview of this patch. This was kind of neat. They got the Semizdas, and they're kind of like this media, kind of journalists that are freelance, and they kind of just pick apart and try to get the real story. Because as we all know, that Picus Media is owned by the elite. I'm trying to remember where I was in this game. This is like the very end, so I'm not going to show the very end for those that haven't seen that. But the graphics, like I said, in this game, the Pro Patch turned out probably the best Pro Patch I've seen on the games I've played so far. As far as racking and stacking, I'd probably say Mafia 3 is the worst. XCOM 2 right behind that one. Resogun, kind of like a why bother. It was kind of one of those games, it's like you can only do so much with that type of graphic. We got an ebook there, I guess I forgot. If you're trying to do the... I think it's called Scholar. I platinumed the game on Human Revolution. It was only like 31 books, and then they decided in this game, they're like, you know what we should do? We should double it and make it so that you can only do it in one playthrough. And you have to get like 75 books. I mean, it's insane. Like I said, the detail, this is the final level here, turned out really, really nice. I mean, the bathrooms, I mean, look at the bathroom. Just beautiful toilets here. Beautiful. We just saw the toilet. Man, how cool is that? It was kind of neat doing that in the original game because you could actually, flush the toilets. And I'm trying to remember, it was either 99 or 2000 when the game came out because I was in high school. And the funny thing is, I mean, it was just amazing at the time, but you could go into the women's bathroom and this girl would be like, what are you doing in the bathroom? And then later, Joseph Manderley in that game, who's actually the head of UNATCO, he yells at you and he's like, hey, don't be going in the girls' bathroom anymore. And you're like, oh, sorry. But it was kind of cool. Like I said, back in 2000, that was like the shiznit to see that kind of stuff. So these guys are all doing a kind of like a meeting, all these really wealthy people. They're trying to get something built. This town, I guess you would call it. Let's go down. I'm going to go ahead and load one more save. We'll go ahead and go down this hallway again just to get you a good kind of overview of the graphics again. This would be the final boss. I won't reveal anything about it, but this would be the final boss fight. I gotta say, as far as the game is concerned, there was only one boss fight, and you're kind of like, really? Like, you had a lot of them in the original and Invisible War, and even Human Revolution had quite a few. Yeah, these... Definitely some really good graphics in this one. But a lot of people were kind of disappointed. There's a lot of disappointment, basically, from... I'll go ahead and load this number 2. Here again. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and load this one. There's a lot of disappointment because, in Human Revolution, you had to kill the bosses, and in the original one, you could actually go through the whole game and be a pacifist. So there was kind of some, issues with that. But I think the whole rollout, the way that Square Enix was trying to, basically get every dime they could out of people with their pre-order bonus that they tried to, the structure that they tried to do. And unfortunately, this game, Mankind Divided, was kind of a test market for Square Enix to see if they could have a separate studio that did nothing but work on basically some Deus Ex. They could, pump them out maybe every 2.5 to 3 years rather than every 5 years. And unfortunately, it just didn't sell well enough from an article I read. And they're not going to be doing that. So it's going to be quite a while, probably 2020, 2021, before we see another Deus Ex game, which is kind of sad. And I was really hoping that they were going to redo the original one, especially true to the original developer kind of vision. Because I thought that was really interesting that you were going to be able to go through the whole game and pick a side. You could pick to stay with UNATCO, or you could pick to side with your brother Paul. Just a really, really cool aspects that they were trying to do, but of course it got cut because it was just way too large. And it's a huge game. It's a huge game anyway. All right, where the heck am I? All right, so we got to turn around. I always get lost in these tunnels for some reason. It's like, who made these? Let me see. If that, nope, that didn't help. Ooh. That's just right back where I was. I was following that blue dot. Is this it? Yes, it is. But I think, like I said, and then the DLC was kind of I don't know. The DLC is kind of a little lacking. The story was great. Like I said, if you played the original, I mean, this game was just full of surprises at almost every turn. You're like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe, you know, that or this, and it was just like, oh my gosh, like so many surprises. You know, with, you know, you start hearing Morgan Everett, and if you haven't, like I said, if you haven't played the original, you're probably like, who is that? Everybody pretty much knows who Bob Page is. Probably, like I said, a lot of really cool stuff. Not so much in the original. I've played. I'm saying in Human Revolution, and I've dug through the game. Was I able to get both? No. And I've dug through the game in the original. They kind of mentioned Joseph Manderley in the beginning. Oh, did I? Just ran right through there. Just sitting here yapping, walking through Grenade. But like I said, Human Revolution didn't really have... It was more kind of setting the stage for the prequel. Not a whole lot. You know, you had Bob Page. Like I said, you had Joseph Manderley. There were some mentions and things like that. I did want to mention there's a lot of people that, for some reason, seem to think that everybody is tied to Adam Jensen from the original, meaning JC and Paul Denton. But they're already born and living their life by the time that Adam Jensen... is in this particular scenario. In fact, by this time right now, Paul Denton's probably, I'm trying to do the math in my head, but he's about 10 years old by now and already in Majestic 12 schooling and care and things like that. And it just doesn't make sense on the timeline. And the fact that by the time that they actually discover how Adam Jensen is special, it just doesn't mesh up with the timeline. So people are saying that, you know, oh, they're clones of Adam Jensen. It's like, no, they're really not if you actually, you know, look at the facts and the and the actual evidence. Let's go ahead and go through the beginning. I'm just going to kind of show the loading screens. There's no crashing for me at this point, but we'll just kind of show off some of the game again. But like I said, like I was saying, the timeline is just off, so it just really doesn't make any sense for that theory for people that are saying that. And I mentioned that in my video series that I've done in the original on the timeline.
Move into the building. The access route you need to block is at the far end of the penthouses. And keep in mind,
it always blows me away, this intro
Roger
scene.
that.
Just a lovely
once his team is on the ground.
lovely scene. They did a really good job with this. Water looks so much better than the previous video I did on Mafia 3. But it would be interesting. I was really hoping they would, like I was saying before, I was really hoping that they would do a remake of the original. A lot of people are like, oh, don't touch my nostalgia. And I've got to say, if you want to play the original, play the original. You know, just make a remake, and I'm sure they're going to do fine. They're probably going to change a few aspects, but to me, I would like the hacking better in this game if they did that for the original, like updated that. If they were to add, you know, like I said, the original developer vision of allowing you to choose what path you want to take. I mean, how awesome would that be to round out the trilogy with that if they remade the original, in my opinion? It'd be really, really cool. And the one thing, like I said, I did not like about Mankind Divided is they really screwed up basically... What makes this game so awesome is that in the original Invisible War, even Human Revolution, you had 4 choices and everything that you could do at the very end of the game. This one, you basically have 2 choices, but you have to do them really, really fast, and it was just, I kind of felt like it was just kind of thrown together a little bit, and it was kind of like, okay. Going through this area real quick. By now I could probably do this area in my sleep. Done it so many times. I mopped up quite a bit of the trophies on a second playthrough that I did, and then I think I've got one more basically to mop up some of the stuff. There's some combat related stuff like the Tesla Arc and
squatters.
Things like
I
that.
think that was the last one.
I'm just gonna shoot him at this point. I don't really care. Stupid asses. You're late. So just like in previous Deus Ex games, there's 2 choices. You can either take the elevator, which is pretty obvious when you go through there. You can hack this keypad. When you start out, you basically have, I guess, a lot of powers that you normally wouldn't have. Let's take the path of least resistance.
Access granted.
I could do a 2 or a 1. Choose next.
Jensen, Mac, listen up. Doppler shows that sandstorm's moving in fast. It's big, and it's gonna hit us hard.
I bet you, yeah, I was gonna say, I bet you. I think this was a New Game Plus again that I did.
Desert. Confirm visual?
I can. Time is not on our side.
Solid copy.
In this game, though, if you haven't played some of the other games, or you're just not used to this type of gameplay, always look under boxes. Always look over anything that you can pick up. There's usually an alternate way through these cargo boxes, and then there's always usually some kind of either pocket secretary, biocell, some type of hypnostim, whatever it may be, type of thing is in there. Let's go ahead. I think it was under here. Yep. The cool thing is in this game they actually introduced the multi-tool, which is a big part of the original game. And that actually allowed you to bypass cameras. It actually allowed you to bypass keypads. It was kind of cool. It was like this all-in-one multi, device. That was kind of a hint from the developers. Take me. Take me. I've kind of enjoyed some of the... I wonder if I can shoot these guys through here. It'd be kind of cool. I've never actually tried it. Yes, you can. Kind of lost my train of thought. I apologize. So excited that I could shoot through the vent. I'm going to show you up here. It's once I get done with this, what I'm talking about. So if I move this box out of the way, we can see a biocell. And this game is littered with stuff like that, so always kind of check under there. There might be credits, there might be, a pocket secretary, there might be something that will let you know that there's always something kind of hidden under these boxes. Not every box, but if you check under enough of them, there'll usually be something under there. Nothing in this one. Here's your package. Oh, that'd be funny. A handsaw. My God, I don't remember this one. That's funny. Can I get the golden cup here?
Jensen, what's your 20?
Working my way through the penthouses.
Remembe to keep an eye
Have
out
some
for the
trash.
Jim's communications booster. If you can disable it.
I don't know why it's so funny to like throw stuff at people, but it is. It'd be funny to see him like flinch, be like, "Oh my gosh, he's throwing trash cans, guys." So in the beginning, you have all these awesome kind of perks, and then of course they take them all away from you in a way, and then you got all these experimental augs you'll end up dealing with. So you kind of have to. Who was shooting from behind? Takedown buttons kind of glitchy for some reason. It's taking a while to take these guys down. They get like an extra like 10 shots, I feel like, on me. That'd be cool. I was wondering if I could throw somebody out the window. So here's another example. There's pain pills under the box over here, as I was saying earlier. Little newspaper. Who the hell? I love that multiple takedown, though. It's so awesome. Like I said, if they ended up redoing the original, I would not be sad if they added that to it. Oh, I cannot see. Because I love these takedowns that they added. I think it's really, really cool. I bet he's trying to wake up his friends. Throat chop. Oh, there's another guy after me in there. How many of them are there? They keep coming. Alright, now it's all quiet. But to get a lot of the lore, if you end up watching the series that I did on the original Deus Ex, I feel like somebody else was shooting at me. I swear to God. But a lot of the lore aspect you're going to find, you have to really dig into the newspapers. You have to dig into every email. So that's why I've said it in a previous video that the first game I usually do, I love to just dive right in. I love to get every aspect. So I usually go combat first so I can read every single email that there is, every single, I can basically go wherever I want without having to sneak around. And then the second playthrough, I usually do the pacifist route that way. So I can kind of get the, the best of both worlds that way. But you'll miss a lot if you don't read, a lot of the things. And there's some games that are like that, I've found. You really have to dig into these things to get a lot of the lore aspect. Some beer. I feel like people would stop fighting if I gave them beer.
Listen up, everyone. Chang's hacked into the Jin's radio signal. Checking the patch now. We should be hearing Sing any second.
خليل الراجل اللي هيبيع لنا الحاجات جايه كمان شويه. روح قول لبقيه الناس ان انا هعصلكم وخليكم منتظرين.
Patch is clean.
Solid copy. Good. I'll repatch us once the deal kicks off.
This area actually turned out pretty nice because you can see they're kind of renovating, so it kind of looks, in some areas it kind of looks a little nicer, and then some areas kind of looks a little dingy because they're, obviously remodeling, renovating. I think that's going to do it for this particular video. I have not actually had any issues besides that one save that I showed you from the beginning of the video. A lot of the glitches and things like that seem to be taken out by the time patch 1.11 came out. At least for me, I haven't had really any issues. I hope for those of you that are having some issues that this patch will fix it. If not, hopefully they keep doing these incremental patches and fix some of the stuff that they are having problems with. But appreciate it for watching. It's a good kind of overview of the patch 1.13 here and some of the updates. And thank you for watching.